Bhakti Vedanta Swamina Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Sarasate Deve Gauravani Prachari Vishesha Sunnavadi Paschatadeshata Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatadeshata Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Lord Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Ananta Gari Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Prabhus and mothers. I'd like to welcome all of you for this session. This is our last session for Harinama Chintamani for now. So please join together to offer our Puspanjali to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and all the Guru Parampara all the way to Radha Krishna. Om Jnanati Mirandhasa Yenanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitanscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschat Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataru Veshyam Kripa Sindhu Bhaye Bacha Patita Nam Pavane Bho Vaishnave Bho Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Pindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So I would request Mother Neha Kumra Devidasi to begin her presentation at this moment. Are you there?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes, I'm there. Dandot Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. You beginning with chapter 8,
Yes, Prabhuji.
followed by chapter 9 by Aruna Nayana Gauradas.
Hare Krishna. Humble obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees. Thank you to Prabhuji for his guidance throughout the Harinam Chintamani text and this opportunity to present synopsis of chapter 8 Harinam Chintamani. All glories to Srila Haridas Thakur and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. The chapter 8 of Harinam Chintamani talks about the fifth offense, which is giving interpretations to the holy name and its glories or Arthavad. The Vedas say that the holy name is purely spiritual and constantly glorify the name. The Lord and Lord's names are one, and in the holy name, the Lord has invested all energies with all results. It is also stated in the Puranas that if one should chant the name either in negligence or in faith, Krishna will show that person great mercy. The name is the highest liberation, the highest freedom, the highest destination, the highest peace, the point of no more searching. The name is the highest devotion, the name is the purest inclination of the jiva, the name is the highest love and direct remembrance of the Lord. The name is the cause of all causes, the supreme Lord, most worshipable, and is a form of guru to bring one to the Lord. Thus, one who minimizes the effects of chanting the holy name is an extreme offender. This offense is due to lack of bhakti sukriti, whereby lacking faith, one can't understand the real purport of the scriptures. The goal of bhakti is unmotivated service to Krishna. In fact, the actual purpose of karma kand also is to perform the prescribed sacrifices without interest in material results, so that one's heart is purified and one's interest and taste for culturing bhakti begins. It is stated that just by namabhas, one can get all the results obtained by the process of karma and jnana. Thus, one should not doubt the great benefit one will get by chanting the pure name. Next, it is also stated that if one happens to commit arthwad or interpretation of the holy name, one should go before an assembly of Vaishnavas who engage in discussions about Krishna and reveal his offense at their feet, begging for forgiveness. If one happens to talk with one of the offenders, one should immediately bathe in the Ganges for purification. And if pure water is not available, one should mentally purify oneself. Hare Krishna.
Wow. That was very concise and precise. Thank you. That was wonderful. So the remedy you said they should take bath in a clean water or in mind. Very good. All right. Thank you. Wonderful, Mother. Aruna Nayana Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavat.
And my obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Today, I have been signed to read out the chapter 9, which is committing sin on the strength of the holy name, which is the seventh offense Haridas Thakur talks about. Srila Haridas Thakur mentions that since the holy name is eternally situated in pure goodness, it is only out of good fortune that the jivas can take shelter of Krishna's holy name, because it quickly removes the anarthas from the heart. Chanting with attention and faith dissolves not only the past sins, but also the propensity to do sin. There are three reasons for sin. First comes avidya. From avidya comes papa bija or papa vasana, which is sinful desire. And from papa vasana comes pap, sinful activities. These three brings suffering to the souls imprisoned by maya. When one is thus freed from sinful desires, one's heart becomes soft and one feels compassion for the suffering souls. One then strives for their spiritual benefit. Having lost the urge for sense enjoyment, especially wealth and women, one then follows on the path of righteousness and accepts only that which is favorable for executing devotional service while rejecting the unfavorable. Having full faith in Lord Krishna as his protector, savior, and maintainer, and in a humble state of mind, he constantly chants the holy name of the Lord. The holy name, thus chanted with strong power, gradually purifies the consciousness, after which one acquires taste for the holy name. This is because of the special mercy of Lord Krishna. Name bhakta pranasyati, as Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita 9.31. But the Gyanis, on the other hand, who unfortunately deprive themselves of Krishna's mercy, of his holy name, cannot rid themselves of sins and fall down. Haridas Thakur declares such a soul as a Mahatma because having taken shelter of the holy name, his progress will never be impeded by obstacles. The name is invested with all the potency of Krishna, and being non-different, it bestows all the benefits of ritualistic penances of Prayaschitta in case of accidental sin, remaining undeviated from the path of spirituality. But one should also be extremely cautious not to be callous or casual towards deliberately indulging in sinful activities, thinking that by chanting the holy name, one will be free from sins again. One's progress then will be obstructed, and such an attitude will be the cause of doom because of having committed Nama Parad. The scriptures declare that the holy name is so potent, it can neutralize more sins than one can commit even in 100 million lifetimes. Even at the Namabhasa stage of chanting, one can counteract the most dangerous types of sins. But certain types of people, especially Markat Vairagis, take disadvantage of the holy name, and under its garb, they artificially behave as renunciates while harboring lustful desires. A devotee who has taken shelter of the holy name can live in any situation, in household life or as a hermit, depending on the situation. We should not therefore associate with such cheaters, as it is a terrible offense to commit sins on the strength of chanting. This offender is forever banished from the path of devotional service. The holy name is so potent that it protects the devotees who have taken complete shelter of the name from committing any of the 10 Nama Paradhas. But one should be careful before having attained that stage of pure chanting, being in the Namabhasa stage, out of complacency, commit Nama Paradha, especially to commit sin on the strength of the holy name. By associating with pure devotees who chant the holy name offenselessly, we should avoid committing offenses. One who chants the holy name with his mind and consciousness fixed never deviates from thoughts of Krishna even for a moment. Till that stage of complete surrender to the holy name, one must be very vigilant to avoid offenses. Here we can understand that chanting should be done with feeling of relationship with Krishna. This can be obtained by the mercy of the spiritual master. Even if we commit this Nama Paradha by mistake, we should take shelter of the association of pure Vaishnavas. Since the holy name is our only wealth, this offense is like a robber who robs us of this wealth. Only the pure devotees can offer us protection from such robbers, because they are always willing to give us protection. We should therefore take their shelter. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also assigns all credit to such pure devotees in rendering this composition. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Wonderful. You complete the whole thing. Very nice. No breakdown, just thoroughly completed. Very good. So we'll have a chapter 10 presented by His Grace Brihadnath Prabhu, followed by chapter 11 by Mother Kara Gillerman. Brihadnath Prabhu, I don't see him here. Ah, not in the name. Okay. Is Mother Kara here? Yes, she's.
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Mother, you can start and we'll see when Brihadnath Prabhu comes back.
Okay, Prabhu.
Mother Kara will be followed by Mother Shreya Kori Devidasi for chapter 12.
Very nice, Prabhu. Okay, so I will do video, please, if it is raining here. So if I become frozen, please someone tell me so I can turn it off again. Dandavat pranam to all of you. I will not do as nice a job as all the people who have come before me, but I will try. All right, so first we need to understand what the identity and the nature of the name are. And so first we all need to know that the principal names of the Lord are non-different than Krishna himself. And in this chapter, Krishna was described as the spiritual son, perfect, conscious, and inconceivably wonderful. And also we need to know that all of Krishna's forms are fully spiritual. And so when a devotee is chanting the name of the Lord, it's coming directly from the spiritual level. It's coming from Goloka. to our true self, to our spirit soul. And from our true self, it's coming to our body. And from our body, it dances upon our tongue and within our heart. And when we're chanting the name with all of these realizations, then the name is real and it has its full power. And so also we should understand who is qualified to chant the name. And so one who is chanting the name, there are one who believes that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and understands that his name is the highest and has no equal. And also the person who is chanting, they should think of themselves bereft of any qualification for chanting. And then such a person at that time is qualified to chant very nicely. And so the offense that I was to cover was basically needing to understand that the chanting of the holy name is different from a lot of the pious activities that we engage in. So this chanting of the holy name is far superior. And when it's kind of related to these pious activities, like on the same platform, this is the offense. So, and every person, based upon their qualification, this is going to determine their path, like how they will get to the Lord. And the primary levels of qualification are karma or karmis, and this is like a very materialistic approach. The process is going to be material, which is going to be the these pious activities, and it's going to take a long time for them to get prema, but eventually through their pious activities they will find bhakti. And then of course the jnana, they're very attached to illusion, and then the bhaktis who engage in devotional service. Now there are two means of purification, which I've alluded to. One is chanting the holy name, and the other one are the pious activities. So I'll cover both of them. The holy name is both the means and the goal. So according to the individual's qualification, the holy name is understood differently. So some people are only seeing the holy name as a means to the goal, where others are seeing it as a beautiful and wonderful goal. At which point there's this transcendental bliss that kind of makes the heart dance when they're chanting. And this is actually the essential character of the name. So the essential character of the holy name is this transcendental bliss in this dancing of the heart. So when we're chanting, like that is really, that's the end goal. So which is prema, true love of Godhead. So the intelligent soul chants the holy name to attain perfection. The name is made of spiritual goodness. It is perfect and blissful as Lord Krishna himself. And in that way, the holy name is the goal. Attaining the glory of the holy name is attainment of perfection. Thus, the holy name will never be abandoned or rejected. And so what happens when people are engaging in pious activities, and they are using that as their goal, and all pious activities actually are material in origin, and their benefit is short term. It's not a long-term thing. And eventually, once they finally get to their stage of bhakti, they will have to abandon their pious activities and take up chanting. So in this way, by using the holy name, we never have to abandon that way to get to where we're going. So there are two stages that devotees can be in when they're chanting the holy name. So one is the purification stage, and the other one is the pure stage. So I mentioned that the holy name is always pure, but sometimes, we see aspiring devotees or new devotees, they are chanting, but still they have a lot of offensive behavior, or they have unwanted defects or impurities. And even these devotees, when they are chanting, still the name is not contaminated, still the name is of its pure nature. And so even if it's kind of hard for us to appreciate those devotees in their beginning stage, we should still appreciate that they are chanting the pure love of God, and that it's remaining in its pure state, even as it's coming from their mouth. And so a person who's at this stage, we can, give them Vaishnava association, and we can encourage them to chant with faith that the name is supreme and without equal. In this way, they can become advanced. Now, the pure stage is prema, it's pure love of Godhead. And in this, the person has taken shelter of the holy name, and it never abandons the holy name once they attain this pure chanting. It has a wonderful transcendental quality. It kind of enlivens you and makes your heart dance. And when the soul becomes attracted to this spiritual life and they understand this, then they are always engaging in spiritual activities. Now, the secondary and indirect way, the pious activities that I've alluded to, they listed 12 here. And basically people who are thinking only in material terms, they are thinking that time is limited, and they are thinking in terms of tangible objects. These, they're kind of take to religious activity out of fear. They're not really doing it for love of God, or because they understand the potency of what they're practicing. They're really doing it from fear. And so there are 12 listed here of these pious activities, and they are fire sacrifice, ritual baths, charity, yoga, varnashram duties, vows, of visiting holy places, worshiping of forefathers, meditation, culture of knowledge, worship of the demigods, austerities, and atonement and penance. So, like I mentioned earlier, you can never, you'll have to give all of this stuff up and just taking to chanting the holy name as you advance to your pure stages. These are all kind of tainted with material qualities. And they just give a temporary benefit. It's not the long-term benefit that we get from chanting. And then the remedy for a person who is chanting but not, really understanding that the name is just magnanimous, really, and just still they are chanting. If they're creating this offense or thinking that it is equal to any of these things, I was really enjoying the remedy. The example that they gave, this Kalidas, he was such a nice Vaishnava, and he was existing during the time of Lord Chaitanya. And he loved to take the remnants of the devotees, and he didn't take any care to the caste of the devotees or anything like that. He was just evaluating their behavior. And if he saw that they had Vaishnava qualities, then he was taking their remnants. So he would bring people food, and then he would either ask for their remnants, and if they refused, then he would lie in wait and take their remnants unbeknownst to them. And in this way, he was able to attain the greatest mercy of Mahaprabhu. And one example that they give was that there's this very low class devotee of the Lord, and he was an untouchable. And this Kalidas had brought him some mangoes and given him to the wife who had, and the devotee had offered them, and then the wife had served them. And this Kalidas, he waited by the refuge pit, waiting for these mangoes to come. And in this way, he was licking the seed and the skins, and he was in complete ecstasy. And he was taking the dust of this very low class, and caste devotees' dust, and putting it all over his body. And like this, he was just appreciating all of the Vaishnavas and taking their remnants and their dust from their feet. In Mahaprabhu, when he would go to the temple, he would have his feet washed, and he had a devotee that would stand guard and not let any of the devotees take his foot water. But this Kalidas, he was allowed to drink the foot water of Mahaprabhu. They give the example of that he was able to take it 3 times, and only when he went for the 4th sip did Mahaprabhu stop him. So in this way, we can understand that by doing this remedy, which is to, take the dust of the lotus feet of devotees, taking the remnants, drinking the foot water of the devotees, in this way we can attain the highest mercy of Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu, we offer food to him. This is Mahaprasadam, but the prasadam of devotees is Mahaprasadam. So in this way, we should all be appreciating one another. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. I hope everybody paid attention. She mentioned how the holy name descend when we start chanting. This is very nice. 4 key points she mentioned. How holy name is spiritual son. I think we should revise this, each of you, and this way you get complete benefit. The whole idea of this class is not that after the class finished today, then we go back after a few days where we were before chanting. That will make me really sad. I'll be crying alone in the room. What did I do? They didn't. No, I'm begging you all, please take advantage and advance. So if you are advancing, then there is a chance for me to advance also by your mercy. You can pray for me also. So please take advantage. I'm seriously. And I see that Brihadnath Prabhu tried to connect. I don't know what happened in India. Maybe they don't have a good connection or something. Mother Shreya Kari Devidasi.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, and you are followed by Mother Dandakesh Devidasi. Go ahead,
Hare
Mata.
And all the devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnanam Timirandasya Jnanam Janam Shalakaya Chakshur Militan Yena Tasmai Sri Gurue Namaha. Today I will speak on chapter 12, inattention while chanting. I will cover the causes of inattention and how to avoid them. First, I know I'm not this body, but the soul, and my main desire is to obtain Krishna's prema. I'm totally dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his mercy. I will always remain the servant of the servants, whether Krishna gives me his mercy or not. I will always surrender to him, never misuse the little independence he gave me. I have faith, belief, and trust in him always. First, I must chant continuously to attain the love of God and avoid committing offense known as pramada or inattention. This inattention or careless results in bad japa and can cause Vaishnava offense and offense towards Guru. This offense will block progress to prema. I must avoid these 3 types of inattention, which are indifference, laziness, and distraction. Chanting 16 rounds strictly on the Japamala every day and not getting the taste is due to indifference, inattention. And to overcome this, I chant in front of my Guru and Srila Prabhupada's photograph due to time, place, and circumstances. The best remedies are one must associate with advanced devotees, live in a holy dham, live near Tulsi, or be in the company of Vaishnava, and gradually increase the period of chanting. I must be careful of laziness, chanting with a sluggish mind, or stop around in the middle, since this type of chanting will never produce taste for the holy name. To overcome laziness and to get a taste for the holy name, I must take association of Vaishnava who do not waste time in material activities and follow in their footsteps. There is a 3rd type of inattention I must be aware of: the attraction of women, or in the case of women, men, wealth, attraction for material success or victory, desire for position, cheating propensity, since from this distraction, all types of inattention are created. To overcome this distraction, I shall fast on Ekadasi and Appearance Day of the Lord, chanting in association of devotees, joyfully engage in devotional activities such as Harinam. This helps me a lot to overcome my fear. Listening to scriptures of the Lord in association with the Lord's servant. when possible in the Lord's holy Dham. I will not chant extra rounds for show. I will first concentrate nicely on chanting 16 rounds. When I can chant without inattention, then I could do additional rounds to increase my bhakti. In the Bhakti Vinod Thakur song, Odilo Aruna Puraba Baje, which is a warning to laziness, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared in this world to deliver all the falling souls. This birth as a human form is very rare, so why waste your time in false ego and decorating yourself uselessly? One may not gain anything out of it. Time once gone will never come back. Hence, take shelter and drink the nectar of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. I pray every day before I start to chant to Guru, Srila Prabhupada, Haridas Thakur, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for not committing the offense of pramada, so I will not commit any aparadas. Let my heart become pure so I can progress to Krishna's prema. Inattention is very dangerous because even if one stop committing the 10 offenses of the holy name, one will not receive Krishna prema due to this inattentiveness. Thus, this will block me or anyone from attaining Krishna prema. First, one should abandon pramada or inattention, then faith in the practice of the devotional service will take birth within me. Thank you, Prabhuji, for your association and guidance. You have inspired me to rise in performing my daily devotional service. I have learned a lot from you in this session, which has become part of my daily life. Thanks to all the devotees who are participants in this class for your questions and comments have shed some light of what I'm lacking. I'm very grateful to all of you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother Shreya Kori Devidasi. Wonderfully explained the 3 types of inattention. I hope everybody put it on their forehead. 3 types of inattention. Am I indifference? Means no attention, or am I lazy, or am I distracted? These 3 types of inattention, very nicely explained. I appreciate that. Now we're going to hear from Mother Dandakesh Devidasi on chapter 13. Mother Dandakesh. Oh, okay.
Vantakalpataro Vyascha Kripasindhu Vahevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I'm doing chapter 13, attachment to I and mine. And this is also worded as to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. So the instructions are, the first 2 are of the Yama Niyama type, accepting everything favorable for service to the Lord, and rejecting everything unfavorable for service to the Lord. So this is a timeless, universal formula that works, that's proven its success. The best materialist will apply it dutifully, even demons. For example, a karmi in the mode of passion who is very determined to win an Olympic gold medal, or somebody who wants to be a millionaire, they would accept everything favorable to their ambition and reject everything unfavorable. They will even sometimes perform very serious tapasyas. So us devotees, we should be ready to display the same kind of determination and perseverance, even passion. I think it's called lolyam, because we are trying to attain the most desirable, most precious, eternal goal of Krishna Prema. The 3rd and 4th instructions are having faith in Krishna as one's protector and knowing that Krishna is one's preserver and maintainer. This means that the devotee doesn't bother about his personal maintenance or sustenance. He's only concerned to be engaged in Krishna's service. Prahlad Maharaj met a great saintly person who was apparently doing nothing and was still getting a little fat. So when he inquired, the saintly person explained that he never endeavored for any of his material needs, like food or shelter or even clothing. So as devotees, we're not so advanced, we're not like a python, and we kind of don't want to bother Krishna too much to take care of us. So usually devotees nowadays, they endeavor for their basic necessities. And they still consider that it is Krishna's mercy, that is Krishna who is providing. And no, devotees are not like pythons. They work really hard to gather vegetables, the best fruits, the best spices, milk, and they cook for Krishna, and they enjoy the prasadam. And sometimes they get a little fat. And they designed gorgeous royal outfits made of gold and precious stones and embroideries. And every day they dress Krishna with a different outfit. I know I ask Pujari, sometimes when they make the garlands, they go to 3 different places to find the right flowers with the right color to match the outfit. Devotees make sure Krishna has a bath every day and go to bed. And they build and maintain gorgeous temples for his residence. And if there is a hurricane coming, their first thought is how to protect the deities. So the devotees, they consider themselves the protector, the preserver, and maintainer of Krishna. We're probably the only religion we think we have to take care of God. In the Anya-Bilasita Sinyam, it is said that also the devotee is able, it's okay for the devotee to pray for Krishna's mercy and to pray for making spiritual advancement. And in this purpose of Anya-Bilasita Sinyam, it says that in death-threatening situations, a devotee may say, "Oh Lord, please save me." And because it is a sudden temporary desire, it is not harmful to his bhakti, like Draupadi. And that is because this desire arises beyond his control, opposite of his devotional nature. So sure, if you're in a death-threatening situation, the best thing to do is to call out Krishna, because you may die actually. And otherwise, the devotee never expects anything in return for his service. The 5th instruction is thinking oneself as low and worthless. This is easy. If you compare an ant to the Queen of England, you would agree that the ant is insignificant. And if you compare yourself to other human beings, you might think, well, I'm not a murderer. I don't rape little children. Hey, I chant Hare Krishna and I'm a vegetarian. So this is a pretty natural, healthy self-esteem. And there's nothing wrong being a little proud of being a devotee. But if you compare yourself to the supreme personality of Godhead, you know, the one who has universes emanating from the pores of his skin, then you are insignificant. Among the megatrillions of souls fallen in the millions of universes, you are utterly insignificant. And yeah, you're not even, whether you're the ant or the king of heaven, Indra, the Brahman, the dog eater, the elephant, the sannyas, the GBC, they are utterly insignificant. Of course, each soul are not equal. They are graded. Some souls have higher qualities than others, but they are still equally insignificant. The sixth instruction is being self-surrendered. And this is almost like selfish, because when you're self-surrendered, you absorbed thinking of Krishna and you forget about yourself. And this is so pleasurable. To forget about this nasty, nagging little voice in your head will harass you all day, even when you chant japa. This is bliss. Even for the karmis, the meaning of entertainment is to forget about yourself. When karmis watch a movie or play sports like skiing or diving or play chess or get drunk or take drugs, the real intention is to forget about this nasty little self in their head with just such a pain to tolerate. So in the Nectar of Devotion, it says, my dear Lord, a person who has surrendered himself unto you, who is in firm conviction that he is yours, and who actually acts in that way by his body, mind, and words, can actually relish transcendental bliss. And yes, we want bliss, especially transcendental bliss. And the only way to do that is to surrender to Krishna. And the way to do that is to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. And one of these instructions is to abandon the attachment to I and mine. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother Dandakesh. This is very funny because I go to the same temple you are, and I don't think any devotee knows you that you can speak so well. I'm going to suggest that you should give class because I see you every day. I mean, our temple is really jubilant. Even today, we have temple packed. All the devotees dancing, chanting. So I like the way she presented that instead of feeling warning, this is what I got from her speech. Instead of warning of the offense of aham mamata, I and mine, he invited all the positive, how you can actually evoke the affection for the Lord by engaging yourself in the deity service, in your everyday serving to the Lord, and more you becoming blending with I and mind, with the relationship with Radha Shyam Sundar, then the material I and mind will disappear. It's very nice, wonderful. And she gave all this practical experience. I see that. Devotee actually do that in the temple. They pick up the special flower for a particular dress. Every day we see that. So thank you so much. Now Mother Sonali Basu, she's another one. She's going to give us a nectar on this, well, it's a dangerous offense also, deity service, followed by Braja Prem Prabhu. So Mother Sonali, are you there? Oh,
yes,
yes.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Dandavat, Prabhuji. And
Dandavat.
with your permission, if you can just allow me to share the screen, because there are several things which has to be shared.
Sure. Okay. I made you co-host.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I'll just share. Prabhuji, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Mataji.
Thank you. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Holy Grace, Bhaktivedanta Sri Prabhupada, and I would also like to share my similar obeisances to the person for whom we are here today. And I really liked when Prabhuji had sent me the Bengali version, and it gave a close touch, understanding the way they had put on it. And to be very honest, I fumble in sharing things written by this eminent personalities because I don't feel so that we are even eligible to do so. But with the guidance of our Siksha Guru, I hope I can just render some points. So today my chapter, as I have just tried to, consolidate few points, offenses in the devotional services. And apart from all the things which are there mentioned in the chapter, elaborately it has been explained. So with, I would really seek blessings from all the Vaishnava devotees so that while sharing about this, we don't unconsciously make any mistake. I have just summarized this, that these are the points on which we are going to see this chapter. It's a long chapter where many offenses have been mentioned. The first is not getting visible. The first one is where Haridas Thakur is being considered as the Acharya. So the title of this chapter, as it is, that offenses in the devotional services. The first thing which our Guruji also has explained while he was taking his classes, that in the first part of this lesson we see how Mahaprabhu had praised his prior and dear devotee Sri Haridasa Thakur. He declared him as the Namacharya, and this shows that the Lord is showing the peak of humility where he is actually acknowledging the achievement of the devotees. He also had praised Ramananda Thakur for teaching him rasa, and then he had instructed Haridas Thakur to just share the offenses which happens during the practice. So being a pure devotee, he had declared that although he doesn't have that knowledge, but he's not going to avoid or deny the orders from his Lord. So he will definitely try to do what has been instructed. So the journey began, and the Lord explained the 4 varieties of seva aparada that we often do. Those that generally apply in all cases, those pertaining to people who are in deity worship, people who go for darshana, and people who have installed deities in their places. So on basis of this 4, he had rightly explained the several conscious and unconscious mistakes that we have been doing. The list of first 32 worship offenses that we do during the worship is entering the temple with shoes, not observing the festival days, forgetting to offer obeisances and praise to the deity, entering the temple without keeping the hand washed, or entering while we have already eaten something, offering worship to the deity in an unclean, contaminated state, offering obeisances with one hand, circumambulating before the deity, extending the feet towards the deity, sitting one's haunches before the deity, sleeping or recycling, eating, speaking lies, speaking loudly, talking with others before the deity, shedding false tears, quarreling, criticizing, giving charity to beggars, using abusive language, covering with a blanket or quilt before the deity, praising someone before the deity, acting immodestly before the deity, passing air in presence of the temple or in the temple, using or giving substandard paraphernalia for deity worship in spite of having better capacity, eating or drinking unoffered food, not offering seasonal fruit and vegetables, offering contaminated food, eaten first by someone else, sitting with one's back to the deity, offering obeisances to or worshipping someone else before the deity, not glorifying and offering obeisances to one's guru, glorifying oneself before the deity, slandering the demigods before the deity. So these are the 32 seva aparadas compiled from the scriptures as realized by the sages. More offense which are listed, that is offensive to eat opulently, to touch deity of Hari in darkness, to touch deity without proper rituals, to open the altar doors without accompanying the performance of music, to offer food to the Lord that has been seen by a dog, to speak during deity worship, to offer arti without putting a flower garland on the deity, to worship Lord Krishna with unattractive or non-fragrant flowers, to offer worship to Lord Krishna without cleaning the face and mouth, to offer worship of the deity having neglected to take a bath or had a sexual interaction with a wife, in presence of a woman during her menstrual period, to offer worship directly having kindled a fire, to pass air before the deity, to offer worship wearing dirty or contaminated clothes, to worship while angry, to offer worship directly after having been at cremation ground or having touched a dead body or seen a dead body's face, to offer worship while suffering from indigestion or dysentery, to offer worship immediately after eating, to offer worship while chewing betel or tobacco, or after having a massage with oil, to worship with flowers from the people or castor tree, to worship at an inauspicious time while squatting on a small wooden stool, to touch Lord with the left hand while bathing the deity, to offer old or already offered flowers, to boost during worshipping, to spit habitually, to worship the deity after having applied smoked or zigzag tilaka, to enter temple without washing the feet, to offer the deity cooked or by a non-Vaishnava, to do the puja in front of a non-Vaishnava. Seva aparadha is to be avoided by the servitor. One who is engaged in deity worship must be carefully following the rules and regulations, which is to be strictly, one must strictly abstain from nama aparadhas and relish the test of pure devotional service to Krishna. In the stage of bhava seva, that devotee who is in a secluded place, feeling separated from the deity, is steadily engaged in worshiping the Lord in the mood of loving ecstasy, that is bhava, but must diligently avoid 10 offenses because nama aparadhas are source of all ills. Bhava seva commences only after one has surmounted the nama aparadhas. In the stage of seva, one has to be free from all offenses. Mental service is foremost. There is hardly opportunity for seva aparadha. O Lord Chaitanya, you have instructed Srila Raghunath Dasa Goswami on the worship of Sri Govardhan Shila, thusly, as it is recorded from the text of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And over there, the Lord gives eagerly the Govardhan Shila, and he prays that Raghunath Dasa Goswami should worship it just like a pure Brahman. And for this worship, apart from bhakti, the simple things that he had advised to use is a jug of water and few flowers from Tulasi tree. This worship is complete goodness when performed in complete purity. With faith and love, one should offer 8 soft tulasi flowers with 2 tulasi leaves, each on each side of this flower. So following the Lord, Raghunatha Rasa Goswami had conducted the same, had performed the same way. And when he actually felt, when he had been enlightened by the darshana of Lord Hari, he was further instructed. He was so feeling so ecstatic that he wanted to express that many precious things will not be sufficing. The things such simple as water and offering tulsi leaf with a pure heart can really give the presence of the Lord himself. So after Raghunath Dasa had thus worshipped the Govardhan Shila for some time, Sarupa Damodara had spoken to him that you offer Govardhana stone 8 kauris, worth of the first class sweet meats, known as Khaja and Sandesha. If you offer them with faith and love, they will be just like nectar. Meditators on the holy name perform Bhava Seva. So the entire thing which we can conclude is one must therefore submerge himself in the nectar of chanting the holy name and forget all other processes of elevation. I am sure must be I've missed many things, but I will really ask forgiveness. And I was in speed because it is a time limit also. I didn't want to spend much more time. I think I could gather few points, Prabhuji, and really my sincere obeisances to you and all my pure devotees to have brought me into a platform where I can dare to share certain things of this auspicious scriptures. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Wow. I'm very much moved. Thank you for giving very wonderful explanation of rectification, improving, and avoiding. That's how I see it. The whole presentation was such a attractive. How to rectify our mistake if we are, and how to improve. Also, how to avoid. So thank you so much. This is wonderful. Now we'll hear from Braja Prem Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, because here we have been affected by a cyclone, so our internet connection is not well. So I will put off my video. If I put on, then you will not be able to hear me properly. So
you
my
can
chapter.
Try.
I will try. Should I open it? Hello.
Sure.
So should I speak like this?
I just made you co-host. You can go ahead.
Okay. So my chapter is chapter 15, Bhajan Pranali. So in that, here Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains how one can do nice sadhana and takes pleasure. So here it is explained Bhakti is dynamic, not static, and Bhakti is dynamic, not static. So it should be like moving on. And here it is given example of Hanumanji. So who always doing chanting of Lord Ram. He's like trying for Ram, and he's always absorbed in Ram. So in 3.5.24, Srila Prabhupada has explained why this creation has been done. So creation has been done because we wanted to enjoy our independence. So although our identity towards Krishna is like we are a servant of Krishna, but we got desire to enjoy our independence. That's why this material world has been created. And this is what main key. And if really we want to enjoy our independence, then we should be dependent on Krishna. So this is what Prabhupada explained why this creation has been created. So one may ask why we have put in this material world, even though Krishna knew all these things. So because it was our desire to enjoy our independence, that's why we put. So one example I remember from Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj. So he said ki we quantitatively are very small in front of Krishna, but since we have our desire to enjoy independence, so we have been given this material world, because in front of Krishna, like in front of sun, if we bring torches, then we don't feel their existence. So that's why this material world has been given to us. And here we are trying to become God on one another. So if like Krishna is situated in our heart, but if we're opposite, like soul and super soul, if they are in opposite directions, then there are 3 points which I want to explain, that our actions will be unnatural, which are unfulfilling, and which will give instability. like we'll do our material actions and which are not natural because we are servant of Krishna. And unfulfilling here example is given of painkiller or watching a movie where we derive some happiness, but it is temporary. And because of unnatural actions and which are unfulfilling, our life is unstable. If we completely depend on Krishna, then and we serve Krishna, which is our real identity. So if we serve Krishna by offering fruit, flowers, enjoying in kirtan, so those are our natural activities to serve Krishna, which will give fulfilling happiness. And because of natural activities and fulfilling uh, uh, happiness, our life is stable. So here one should not be pretended. One should be avoid duplicity in while doing devotion. So further, here it is explained rasa. Now rasa, as per rasa is produces by sthai bhava with vibhava, anubhava, satvik bhava, and vabhichari, and which is highest purest state, the perfection of the absolute truth. Now for identity, it is explained here. We have two types of identities. One is fundamental identity and another is functional identity. So functional identity are like we are Brahman, Kshatriya, doctor, whatever. But fundamental identity is we are servant of Krishna because he is a super soul and we are soul. So we are completely dependent on him, and unless we are dependent on him, we cannot enjoy our independence. So this is what the main key point which I explained earlier. So functional identity should be under fundamental identity. Like here, there are many examples, but one example which I liked about Arjuna and Krishna. When Arjuna wanted to fight and he came on battlefield, and he saw he was fighting for relatives, but opposite also he saw his relatives because all are brothers, and so he got afraid and he got bewildered. So then Krishna said, "Ki you are soul, and your duty is to serve super soul, and you have to execute your duty in service of Lord." So here, when functional identity comes under fundamental identity, then he got energy and he again took his bow and arrow and started fighting. And we know what what happened after that. So another example which I heard, like you said, taking vaccine, whether one should take a vaccine or not. So if we what is fundamental and functional, how we can categorize this fundamental and functional. So one may take vaccine or one may not take vaccine, but if he understands we have to serve Lord, for that if he takes vaccine, then it is like a functional identity coming under fundamental identity. So we all are here with our material responsibilities, family duties. We should always keep our functional identity under fundamental identity, then only we'll be very happy. One more example was given in lecture about Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He was very busy person and he was officer, and he would do translation, he would write books, he would do his japa, and then again morning, again morning he is ready to go to his work, solve all problems, cases. And so here one thing one should understand, if we are spiritually enriched, then only we can do our material activities nicely. People may be afraid of if we are surrendered to spiritual activities. If we surrender, then our material activities will not be so much competent with others. How we can gain, how we can do our material activities very nicely. But if someone is spiritually potent, then he can exhibit so many material activities. So one should not be in this confusion. So then there was one example which I heard, one billionaire tells his daughter, if I give you some money, then what you will do? Then that daughter says, how many candies can come per month? So daughter has, that 2 years daughter has only that much expectation, how many candies she can perceive. but she cannot perceive like a matured man or woman. So one should be very careful, and one should be with devotees, and one should be always protected. So here, which I wanted to say mainly, one should be fully Krishna conscious. Then only he's going to be happy. Otherwise, he's going to be unhappy. Like in Mahabharata, if we remove Vishnu Sahasranam, Narayan Stotra, and Bhagavad Gita, then whole Mahabharata is like, Dharma Artha Kam Moksha, means like watching Bollywood or Hollywood movie. So one should always keep ourselves in serving Lord. So at end of the chapter, again, explain about Namaprad, Namabhas, and Shuddhanam. So there it was given example of sun. So like Nama Aparad is like sun is about to come, but it is not, it is not seen. And Namabhas is like sun is about to come by his aroma, by rays. One can understand the sun is about to come. His light effects are also visualized. And Shuddhanam is a stage where sun is fully come out, risen. So like that, one should see how we can progress in our, chanting. One more example which I like is about gun, because I also have one gun. So gun is a Namapraj stage where you have gun, but you don't have bullets. But still it affects. If you show someone, then to protect. So he may not know whether you have bullets or not, but it affects. And Namabhas is a stage where you have gun with bullets, but you have to load it. And Shuddhanam is like you have so much ammunition that you just go on firing. And, that is what that stage. So one should be, and in order to, but that target has to be focused. And in order to focus that target, one should have four things: Dainya, Daya, Manada, and Amanina. So if we keep focus with these 4 points, then we'll certainly get that achievement of Shuddhanam. Like Haridas Thakur, he has got everything by doing good chanting, taking shelter of Harinam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Wow. Brajaprem Prabhu, you just took us you said you are in a hurricane or somewhere. You took us in a hurricane of holy name explanation. It's like a non-stop. It was wonderful. Thank you.
It was not with much preparation, Prabhu. So whatever I heard,
wonderful.
I just...
It's wonderful. I don't see Bihadnath Prabhu still. So we are missing just one, but everybody else presented their own. Anybody see Bihadnath Prabhu? I don't think he's here. Okay, he could not make it. So today we ended. Just to let you know, congratulations, you all actually succeeded and graduated. Just to give you a last tips that in my own life, I learned something that I don't have to be perfect to inspire others. Let other devotee or other people get inspired how I deal with my imperfections. And I have seen that actually affected more than because you will be thinking like, oh, should I get perfect before I help others? No, you don't have to. They will get inspired seeing how I really had a problem. I had a problem with lust, greed, madness, envy. I used to be envious. I'm being honest to you. And I see all these things slowly disappears because of bhakti, power of bhakti. So I'm trying to say that by changing our external, our internal is not going to change. I hope you understood that in last 15 session. By changing our external, our internal is not going to change. That also I try to do, actually it doesn't work. By wearing dhoti, kurta, saffron cloth, It's okay. It's nothing wrong. Our desire are not going to change by changing our external dress. By wearing a Vaishnava tilak, our desires are not going to change. I'm not discouraging you. Do all those, but you, the eternal loving servant, lost child, needs two things to take care, the characters and the attitude. What will count at the moment of death? Yes, the external appearance of a devotee is an important aspect of bhakti. Those are important, but it does have some effect on our consciousness. But it is not the all in all of being a devotee. The real challenge is to bring changes from within. The real challenge is to bring changes from within. Donning the dress of a devotee externally is difficult, but not that difficult. The real difficult is in donning the attire of a devotee internally. Why? Because who we are is not a product of our external. Won't you agree all? But our internal. Krishna does not see our external. He is more interested in our internals. The world may be impressed with the external. It's true. Like we have one old Prabhupada's disciple. He's such a wonderful devotee. Every day he has an iron shirt, nice embroidered, dhoti, like pakka, the way he dress. Prabhupada shown him how the Grihastha dress. It's wonderful he's following. When you look at him, you say, wow. It's very nice. But he's also internally, he's a wonderful devotee. That's what I like the most. His external is good, but internal attracts Krishna. That's why I'm saying the world may be impressed with the external, but Krishna is impressed only by the internal. A devotee is not a person of form, but a person of substance. Veddam vastavam atra vastu. Krishna is a vastav vastu, real substance. He's not just a letter, word, alphabet. No, he's a real substance. He's a person with unlimited potency, quality, lovable, eminently lovable. These are real substance. So similarly, each of us also is not a person of form, but a person of substance. So our internal change, not by changing our external, I hope you remember that, but by working on changing our internal. These classes, or these 15 sessions, is about just that, perfecting one's chanting of the holy name and achieving pure love of Lord Krishna and his intimate companions. This leads to the highest fulfillment and happiness of the soul, which can never be affected or disturbed by the activities of the material world. Now I, Pran Govinda Das, your servant, offering my humble obeisances to our spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at his lotus feet, and pray that he may empower us, each of us, this learning session in such a way that whoever hears, it may be inspired and enlightened enough to want to perfect his or her chanting of the Lord's holy name. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpataruvesya kipa sindhavaya vacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Thank you. We ended here. If anyone has anything to say, we can. Otherwise, we'll just close.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a nice class and nice teachings. Thank you.
You.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I want
Prabhu.
to express my gratitude and I do dandavat to your feet. It has been very inspiring sessions, Prabhu, with you. After touching you, I think in my memory it is eternal now. So with your grace and love and blessings, I'll try to learn what has been taught in these sessions. And I also want to thank all of the other devotees participants. Everybody is very inspiring and a lot to learn. Hari Bol.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If you all have ever any interest to know what is the complete philosophy of Vaishnavism, the Hare Krishna philosophy, try to get in Jaiva Dharma classes. I'm going to start this next month. Jaiva Dharma is one book. It gives complete of entire Gauriya Vaishnavism. Any subject, anything, any question you have, it's all answered. It's
So
such it
how many classes, Prabhuji, total?
40.
40.
40.
What?
From conditional life to ultimate Golok Vrindavan, what are you going to do there? Everything in there.
And
That would
Prabhuji,
be so
what
great,
time
Prabhu.
is, like if a little bit earlier will be very good.
But we're going to do it early time. We're going to do like, I think it's a 9 instead of 11:30. It will be 1.5 hours before
7:30.
in India time.
7:30 then, Prabhuji, Indian time.
Yes, 7:30 probably. Your time will be 7:30 to
Then it's good.
9.
When are you planning to start, Prabhu?
As soon they said, I think next month.
Next month.
Yes, Prabhu, I have looked on the website. The class hasn't posted yet.
No, it's
Okay.
not posted. Yeah, yeah.
Prabhu, it will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
5 days a week.
5 days.
You're going to go through any conception, any doubt, any idea. You will literally cover everything.
And this
It
is
woke me up. Believe me, when I read Jaiva Dharma, after that, I see Prabhupada's purport, it just attracts me naturally. I was not so much attracted before to the purport due to my ignorance. And Prabhupada's purport has so much hidden treasure that it is difficult to show someone unless they have a curiosity, interest to. So to create that interest, I got benefited by Jaiva Dharma. Now I look at Prabhupada's purport, I feel like Prabhupada's purport is $1 billion worth.
indeed.
I could not see that before. So I thank to Prabhupada a lot. And one thing Prabhupada said about Jaiva Dharma in a morning walk, he said, Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's most important book, actually that was the last book he wrote, and he put everything in it. He said, we are bringing it to the Western world in English edition. Prabhupada said just like that. Prabhupada said, we are going to do Jaiva Dharma in English edition. So that was very nice. So we have a blessing of Prabhupada also.
Yes.
Prabhu, is this Jiva Dharma book you will be teaching is the one that you can find on, you can find a couple of YouTube lectures on your YouTube channel, same book?
It
Jiva
will be
Dharma?
there, but we already have in Veda base, we have the translation of few devotees. Prabhupada also inspired Sarvabhavana Prabhu to translate, and he did a wonderful translation.
So which translation will we be using for the?
It's in the Veda base, whichever is more accurate. One translation, I don't like to say the name. He's a very nice devotee, but his translation is not exactly accurate to me. it's little bit like a little, not, I mean, it could be improved. It should be edited, I think. That's what I say. It should be edited.
So when we take,
I have this one, Prabhu. I have this one.
Who's this?
The Jaiva Dharma book.
this
It is, I think, translated into English from the original Hindi by Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj.
Oh, it is fine. Yeah.
We are going to use it from the Veda base.
From the Veda base. Okay, okay.
Yeah, by Sarvabhavana Prabhu. Because he got instruction by Prabhupada to translate, and he did a wonderful translation. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Panchakalpataru Kripa Sindhuvevacha
Before we stop, I just want to express, Prabhu, my sincere gratitude to you. Take just 30 seconds. Sincere gratitude to you for the enlightenment, for sharing so much, not only explaining from the Harinama Chintamani, but also sharing so much of your practical experiences, and for your constant guidance. And I see like a kind father in you, like where you are always telling for our benefit, please follow it, please follow it. At every time, constantly reminding. I have started my 16 rounds chanting very, very recently, but I feel fortunate enough that very soon I started my chanting. God has sent you like a messenger to share how we should improve my chanting. And sincere gratitude to you, Prabhu, for considering each one of us as your dearmost and guiding us constantly. Because there could be other people who might just do this session like doing it, but you have really done it from your heart. So please, I don't know which courses we will attend or not and how it is going to work out, but I just wanted to sincerely seek your blessings to be able to progress in the spiritual life. And also sincere thanks to every devotee here, wonderful devotees, a lot of senior devotees, everybody. I was very touched when Medhavi Das Prabhu was telling he went to even prison so many times and did not even worry about it because he was serving Prabhupada. So some of those words were really like touching. Like I was reading in books about how people were committed to Prabhupada, but I'm seeing in this session directly hearing, and many other devotees. Sincere thanks. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll pray for all of you, and you all please pray for me too. Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Panchakalpataru Kripa Sindhuvevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Ananta Gadi Vaishnava Binda Ki Jai.